Hello, my front-end friends. A lot of people have complaints about CSS, and I guess sometimes those complaints are justified, and sometimes not so much. And you might even have some of your own complaints about CSS, but whatever they are, unless it's this one specific thing that I'm going to talk about today, it's not the most annoying thing about CSS, because there's one behavior that just tops all of the rest of them. Or, well, at least tops it in my own opinion anyway, especially because I have multiple times gotten stuck by this. And I think one of the things that's the most annoying about it is it's basically impossible to debug it using your dev tools or other things like that, because nothing tells you that you've actually done something wrong. Like if you're using flex or grid features on a non-flex or grid item, dev tools these days, they let you know about that, but in this case, that doesn't actually happen. So what exactly is that problem? Well, I'm glad you asked. So here's an example where I actually have this hover and this effect coming in here. If we open up our dev tools and we take a look here, we can actually see that I have my button class and my button class. And let's go, and with that, let's turn on our hover that's in here in our dev tools. And let's say, for example, when I'm active, we should see it gets like sucked in a little bit. And if I go in this one and I do an active, nothing's actually changing. And if we come look here, there's nothing showing us why it's not working. And to me, this is infuriating. And this is happening because I'm using a scale. And it's not just if I'm using a scale, I'm doing other things here too, but say we do a transform, and then over here, we could say this is actually a scale of 0.5 or something, just so we can see that it's working on this one, but on this one here, it's not working. And this is just because any of the transforms that you might want to do not work on inline elements. And this might actually seem like a mistake or something, but it's actually in the transform spec. And you can see right here, let's zoom in on this a little bit. And it says a transformable element is all elements whose layout is governed by the CSS box model, except, that should be like bold, italic, I don't know, something, except for non-replaced inline boxes, table column boxes, and table column group boxes. And so non-replaced inline boxes would be a link or any other regular inline element. So if we jump back to here and you're wondering, well, what's the fix? It's actually quite simple. All we need to do is come in our CSS and make it not an inline element. So here on my button, I can just say that this is like a display inline block. And then now if I come and take a look, it works on both of them, and they're perfect. Or even if you'd rather, you could do an inline flex or an inline grid, and that's also going to work. So you can see there it's working. Inline grid will also work. And yeah, that's all there is to do to fix it. And just in case you're wondering, this right here is the multi-word syntax that you can use for the display property. So you can also do the old one, which is the display or the inline grid hyphenated, or inline flex as well. Those would work if you need either the flex or grid context. And this behavior has caught me out several times, and at first it was always really annoying to debug, but now that I've run into it enough times, it's become sort of my mental checklist of like, oh, go and check that because my transform isn't working, this is strange, and now I know to look for that. So this video is kind of a very quick PSA to say, look for this if your transforms are not working for one reason or another. And if you enjoy these types of quick hits videos like this one, and there's another annoying thing with CSS, specifically with animations and growing things and scale and all that. The problem can be if you're using Z-index to put things in front. Here you can see it's in front as it's growing, but when I come off, it actually jumps behind the other things because that Z-index goes away that I had on hover. Whereas on this one here, it's always in front. And so in some situations, they'll be in front, and other times they sort of hide behind the things that are around it. And it's actually relatively easy to fix. Now you can see that all of a sudden we've fixed the problem and my elements are always staying in front. So if you want to see how I fix that, there is a video right here for your viewing pleasure. And with that, I would like to thank my enablers of awesome, Andrew, Simon, and Tim, as well as all my other patrons and channel members for their monthly support. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.